Alright, done preparing for that match there, so let's get it on. T-Show on the Radiant side. Let's introduce them first. Come on, get it. I figured it out, guys. I'm so used to not having to change that in normal matches, but here we go. Old Baga on the Bounty Hunter this time around. They're smoked up. We've got a Magnus. He's going to be handled by Tail. Oracle. This time will be played by Caffertato, switching sides. Actually staying on the Radiant, but switching teams more like, as the smoke expires. Bounty Hunter. Already talked about him. Bat Rider this time. It's going to be Sora. And then finally, our Anti-Mage. We talked about him a little bit. He's hiding in the trees. He is going to be played by 365 as Enough gets harassed away from the Radiant side of the map and gets his ward dewarded. So he's going to be on the Slardar in the off lane. We've got an Io handled by Adrian. Drow Ranger will be played by End Planer. I'm walking around in one of my favorite Drow Ranger sets, the Kitty Cat. Medusa will be handled by God's Hand. And finally, it looks like Medusa's going to be on mid, which we said. And then Heron Mark on the Ogre Magi. Drow Ranger getting caught out a little bit here. Some nice little blades on the back. And Old Baga, he's gotten dusted up. Is the catch going to be here from Lonelyboyz? They've got 2 stacks, some of them 3 stacks of the napalm, and they have to back away just because they weren't able to turn too fast there. And then the Ogre Magi, he's played by Heron Mark. As we get into game number 2, it doesn't say at the top, but Lonelyboyz are up 1-0. If you see anybody asking for the score in chat, feel free to type !score to show them the score, since they kind of messed it up in the making of the lobby. Ogre Magi very early makes his way over to Tail. He's got the Orb of Venom, so he's going to slow Tail down quite a bit, avoids the tower there, and he's just harassing him out of this lane, which is probably going to make it so that, look at the support, the Bounty Hunter. He's going to have to become more of a presence on the mid lane now. And God's Hand, he's got 1 level into the Mystic Snake, got it very early, and they might turn around with it. Yeah, just throws out the snake, gets some of the mana back, but he's very low. And he's going to plant down that Iron Branch. He's going to Bob Ross it. This is your world. You can make as many happy little trees as you want. And he'll get some nice health back from it. But Bounty Hunter has stayed there. So Medusa sends out the snake, but doesn't get too much mana back from it. And now she doesn't have quite enough for a 3rd one on mid. And she says, Ogre Magi, please come back here. I need your help. Is that the... Oh, the El Gato. One of the better couriers in the game. Over at bottom, Slardar trying to back away. Pulling forward from 365. Trying to get a little bit of a block there. But the Slardar just a little bit too fast. Slithers his way away from the bottom lane. Interesting that they don't have any Sentry Wards here for Lonelyboyz. Perhaps those got dewarded or something, but it's something that you definitely need against a Bounty Hunter early. Enough trying to play against Caffertato right now. He can't take too much harass, and Caffertato actually thinking about moving in here. Not enough mana for a Purifying Flames though. So Slardar remains safe and keeps trying to get some XP, but he has to go so far for it. Oh, Bounty Hunter picks up the haste rune. He was invisible. Now he's going after Heron Mark. It could be the battle of the Orb of Venom, but the Ogre has to actually hit the Bounty Hunter for that to happen. And Bounty Hunter just goes over top. Enough should know about this haste rune, and he sees the Bounty Hunter coming in. He needs to use his crush. He will have it, and he uses it. And now the Anti-Mage comes up. 1 hit, which should be 1 more. And Bounty Hunter with the haste rune gets the first blood. The Slardar getting caught out of position there. He definitely knew that the Bounty Hunter had the haste rune, just wasn't really banking on the fact that he would go over towards bottom. And I like how the Anti-Mage is playing this lane. He just kind of waits until the Slardar uses Crush, and then he blinks forward and tries to put some harass damage on him. It's definitely a very smart way of playing it. Sora getting ahead on top. There's 6 napalm stacks on End Planer. It's probably time to back up, man, if you have that many stacks on you. Magnus nearly level 4 at this point. He's finding the levels okay on the mid lane. Nice little snaky shield placed down by Medusa. Should be fine on the mid lane now. She's got a ton of mana. Misses the last hit there, but he's trying to harass the Magnus. Walks right into the shockwave. Gets a nice deny. And over on the bottom lane, we have Ogre Magi joining Enough a little bit, seeing that he needs a little bit more help. Some children are just special, you know. And over on mid, Medusa getting a little bit of damage here. She's got the mana shield up, and she's a bit too tanky, especially with this TP coming in from Io. Will help the Medusa stay alive. At bottom, we could see something enough taking a ton of damage. There's going to be another Purifying Flames and finishes off the kill. Now 365, thinking about going for the Ogre Magi, but he's a bit tankier. At least the Ogre does not have any more mana. And he tries to put more harass on the Cafratato, but he does have to be super careful. He's got a lot of armor, but even then, that might not be enough. 2 kills on the side of Tisha. Last time it was Lonelyboyz that took the early advantage, but this time it's another blink forward from the anti-mage, and Oracle gets another kill over on bottom. She's 2-0-1, or he is 2-0-1, and he's just rocking this bottom lane. Over at top, Io with the Draw Ranger takes advantage of an aggressive Bat Rider, and they end up taking him down there. So 3 kills to 1. We're 4.5 minutes in, and this Magnus, well, he's gone away from the mid lane a little bit, but Bounty Hunter really wants to get something going on, though. He really wants to make it a party. I'm all about parties. I'm good for that. Invite me if you have a party. I need friends. Please. Please. It would be nice to have friends sometime. Probably don't want to hear about that, though. God's Hand, again, stepping up in the mid lane. Ogre Magi has shown up here, and Old Baga is going to scout that out and just kind of alert the Magnus to it, keeping him safe and sound. Magnus still level 4, nearly level 5 as Bounty Hunter. I'm not sure if that was him being scouted out. I believe it was by the Observer. That's why those pings were coming there. And Draw Ranger is just very fond of getting a lot of napalm stacks from the Bat Rider. He's up to level 4 at this point. Puts 1 napalm stack on the end planer. And we'll see if anybody has to be careful. Bounty Hunter's just kind of waiting up there. And maybe they go onto this. Some Frost Arrows onto Sora. And Adrian just goes right over with the tether. Staying safe. And Old Baga's still here. Still in his invisible little self. Puts the harass on the end planer. They're going to try to turn it around, though. The silence comes out. Frost Arrow. But it's only a level 1 Frost Arrow at this point. So it really doesn't do a whole lot. But Ogre Magi coming in from the backside. Sora's going to scout him out. There's a regen rune that spawned over at the top rune spot. But I don't know if anybody's actually going to pick this off. But yeah, the Magnus just kind of goes over there. They're still trying to chase down Heron Mark as they get even more napalm stacks on him. He's going to turn a little bit slower as Medusa comes over. She's got the ultimate available. She's going to run in. Will they be able to get the kill? Yes, they do with the shockwave. Bat Rider's kept there. Enough is here. Has the crush. Sora might have gotten a little bit caught up, but he's going to keep putting the napalm stacks down. And Medusa wasn't quite able to finish off the kill. Now they're going to try to chase down enough. They've got the regeneration rune popped, and it does get the shockwave. Woo! Just whistling by his ear there. I think those are ears that the Slardar has. Yeah. So they go a little bit deep, but they only find 1 kill. Medusa not quite able to take the Bat Rider down. He just throws out the Mystic Snake once again. But the lineup hasn't really come to fruition here for Lonelyboyz. They still have the Draw Ranger farming up. She's got the Salve and the Ring of Aquila coming to her on the top lane, working towards the Dragon Lance right now. It's the big item that you want Drow to be completed very early into the game, and she's going to get some help with the stack here, picking up some gold along with the balls of Io. Got those balls just swinging all over the place. Yeah, 365 still farming up, though. He's gone power treads, and there's a nice stack here for the Bat Rider to just put the napalm on and run around with this Firefly going. Get some nice farm out of it. We'll see what he decides to go with. Seems a little bit low on gold. Is that his bottle on the courier? No, it's not. Push comes top from the Drow Ranger. Some very good damage as soon as you get the marksmanship up. And Ogre is here as well. They use the dust, random dusting, but this time it's actually going to miss onto Old Baga. Kind of guess that the Bounty Hunter might be there. But Drow Ranger is just going to tank up the tower with the overcharge from Adrian. And this should be the first tier 1 tower of the game, going the way of Lonelyboyz. Old Baga's just very low on health here, but he doesn't seem too scared. He's still got the invisibility, just trying to, sap out some XP from the wave. And end planer still moves forward. Lonelyboyz haven't reacted to this just yet, and I don't even think that Old Baga can really stop this push at all. He's going to get the last hit there, and Planer doesn't really worry about it, especially since he doesn't have any help. Tail is here with his bottle, 1,550 gold, and Jaw Range is a little bit far out. Io doesn't have relocate, so there's going to be no relocate out of this one, and there is definitely going to be enough. There's the RP, and Planer kept there, trying to conserve their mana here, and they've got more than enough damage with just the Oracle Burst. So that'll take the score to 9-1. Anti-Mage still farming up Perseverance in his inventory right now, working towards the Battle Fury. That's really where you start to see the farm take off for Mr. Anti-Mage. Batrider's been pretty interesting this game. I don't know. I mean, he's gotten involved in 1 kill, took 1 death. Here, Mark. He's got the napalm stacks on him. Tail has to be a little bit careful, but he is a very tanky Magnus, and Planer just moves right up on the mid lane. They're going to have to wait for a creep wave, which is actually really far away with how quickly the Radiant side just take care of those creeps. But he's at an Ogre Club and the Band of Elven skin right now, very close to his Dragon Lance, and he's going to think about going over towards the rune spot right now. God's Hand uses his ultimate. There's going to be the lasso, and Batrider, oh my god, they just take him out of mana, and it's so easy for the Batrider to just like run away from the Medusa at that point. Magnus goes over towards the double damage rune. Enough is trying to chase him down, but he might have to abort this, going back towards the mid lane. They don't have any creeps once again. This is just a huge problem for Lonelyboyz in all of these matches. They're just not able to find the push into the T-show side of the map that they want. Just all the time the creep equilibrium has not really been working out for them at all. As M-Planer has now finished up his Dragonlance, Band of Elven skin on the Courier. And well, at the top of the net worth, it's really no surprise to see that 365 is there. And he's going to go for a kill right now, getting chased down by Old Bog, and the Shuri toss ensures that 365 will find the kill there on Ogre Magi. A nice kill for 365 to have, gets him even closer to his Battle Fury. Caffertato and Tail just waiting on this mid lane. It's going to be the first Blink Dagger usage of the game for Magnus. They're going to use the smoke, but it was right underneath the Dire Observer. Did they see this? Is Tail going to be able to find? He's got the double damage rune going, and it's an easy kill. Skewered back into the rest of his team. Not even going to need the RP for this one. Completely out of mana is God's Hand and out of life as he just gets gang banged on the mid lane. Might see a tower push here now from T-Show as you still have the double damage rune from Magnus. Going to make some good damage on the tower. Jaw Ranger gets some deny on the tower bottom, but that's really not what she's known for. She wants to be pushing these waves in and putting the pressure on the map for Tisha, but we're not really seeing that right now. Only 1 tier 1 tower taken for Lonelyboyz, and well, they're still working on the farm, but Tisha, they're actually pretty far ahead. I mean, look at the net worth, they're at 2,500. The relocate is going to come through, looking for Caffertato, see if they can find him. There's going to be the, not in range, there's going to be the Frost Arrow. So it wasn't really a question whether he would get out. And lonely enough? Are you lonely enough? The Io was back over at bottom. Maybe they catch out 365. He's been silenced and has to blink away. Sora maybe thinking about going for a lasso, but just goes for his Drum of Endurance. Wants to keep going on that. And with Anti-Mage being a little bit low in health, the push might be pretty simple here for Lonelyboyz. And there is still an RP from Magnus. They saw the Blink Dagger when he went in onto mid. So the push continues. Lonelyboyz, we'll see if it's going to be fast enough. Bounty Hunter has made his way here. There's going to be the track, and there's no Oracle on their side this time, so Lonelyboyz, they might want to try to take these tracks off, but they don't have the mechanism for being able to do that right now. Fortified Towers gets used. Old Baga moves up, and well, Heron Mark has been scoured out by Sora. Pulled in with the lasso, and he's very tanky, but I don't know if he's going to be tanky enough here. Really waiting on that damage, seeing if there's anyone else that the Bounty Hunter can go for. But Lonelyboyz, they just back right away from this. They sack the Ogre Magi while the Medusa pushes on the mid lane. It's a very close game, and I think we learned after the last one that you do not want to call a game too early. T-Show definitely had a mechanism to get back into the last match with all the split pushing that they were doing. Enough just puts the amplified damage on 365. probably doesn't want to go too much into him. And, well, we talked about how they weren't able to take the tracks off, but on the side of T-Show, it's very easy to take the amplified damage off with the Purge of Oracle. So we're still moving around the map right now. Anti-Mage, he's built up his Battle Fury, and he has a Ring of Regen. Possibly could be going for a Vlad's. Old Baga doing some nice scouting. He has seen Adrian. And, well, there's a lack of Sentry Wards here for the Dire side. So Adrian, he gets hit by Old Baga, and I think they sack the IO here. No, because he's got to tether away, and Cameron definitely could have been a lot better there. But I think you get the idea. Tether away from the IO keeps him alive. And Medusa's still farming up on mid. Very interesting to see what is her item? It's just a bottle and a power treads. Doesn't seem anything significant at all for the Medusa, so just back away from the mid lane. Picks up a TP scroll from the courier. You would think that a Medusa getting something delivered, but a little bit more substantial, but it just hasn't been. And now they try to chase down Old Baga, who hasn't been dusted or anything, just walking away from the bottom lane. Didn't really look at the... Where did I not look at? They're about both at 3,000 for net worth and XP leads. But it's still very close. 365 still at the top. And he's definitely going to be a problem here. Like, absolutely, this anti-mage has to be dealt with. And, well, Lonelyboyz do have a couple of different ways, but if those different ways all have to be employed for the anti-mage, then you're probably really lost. Heron Mark skewered underneath the tower with the RP. He's not tanking enough for this one. Even goes for a stun, but it's just a very angry stun at Magnus's. Nice kill for T-Show, picking off the Ogre Magi there. And it's definitely worth it to be using the RP in that situation, but it does mean that Lonelyboyz don't have to be as scared of it. And now for the next minute or two. Anti-Mage taking the Ancients away from Lonelyboyz, and I don't think Medusa is too happy about that. Gets hit by the Bounty Hunter. Now there's going to be a double crush by the Slarder. They've killed the Anti-Mage. They get the silence on the Old Baga, but they don't have vision of him. Now Sora's getting slowed down a little bit. Uses the drums to try to get away. The Snake does some good damage, but they don't really want to run through that Firefly. Oh, look at the huge damage. Nice false promise from Oracle. Blink forward by enough, trying to find the Bat Rider, and he did not take enough damage to actually go down there. And, well, with T-Show having to back away from that one, Lonelyboyz go into the Roshan pit. They take an 1,100 gold lead off of that fight, and they should get the Aegis here. Done very fast with both the Jaw Ranger damage as well as amplified damage from Slardar, and they give the Aegis over to God's Hand.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And Planer moves up, takes some creep kills on the mid lane. The Magnus RP is back up, so those 2 minutes are up. And now we might see a push on mid for Lonelyboyz. They are all grouped up here. It seems like the natural step, especially since Planer has finished off the Hurricane Pike, but he has to stay alive to be able to use it. Very tanky, good mobility. And I think the tier 1 tower should be going the... Ooh, nice blink away from Magnus as he just evades enough crush initiation there. Bat Rider's getting some nice vision here, though. And Bat Rider and Anti-Mage making a little bit of a home on the Dire side of the map. Maybe they catch out Anti-Mage again. Ogre Magi is here. Very unlikely that he's able to get a stun off, and very quick blink away by Anti-Mage, but Slardar is ready. Does he get a blink and stun? It's 2 seconds, 1 second. Anti-Mage should have his blink back up. He gets the amplified damage down, but it's not going to be enough. And a smoke it hits on the top lane. Planer, he's going to need to relocate up. They're looking for the IO. They get the RP on it too. They're skewering them back. Planer in a ton of trouble, and a nice double kill on the top lane. Tail definitely looking really good on his Magnus. 12-4. And they didn't even have the Anti-Mage for that one. Don't really want him there, as they just want him farming up around the map. Bat Rider nearly to his Blink Dagger. Over on mid, 365 has been caught up, but they don't have a silence like they did over on top, or wherever it was that he was killed. And they managed to, well, Anti-Mage manages to get out. And he's still at the top of the net worth, still working towards his items. There is the Blade of Alacrity for him, working towards Yasha, probably into a Manta Style after that, considering the Draw Ranger on the map, so he can just use the Manta Style after he gets silenced and take that off of him. Good survivability for him. That was really the only reason he went down the last time that he died. And Lonelyboyz, they're kind of in a T-show situation from last match. They have to keep their heads about them. They have a way to stay in this match by taking some towers, keeping the net worth lead very close between T-show and Lonelyboyz. We look at it right now, it's still about 3,000. So a tower goes down. It's a tower trade for now. We'll see if Lonelyboyz push this even further. Bounty Hunter's over on mid, while Sparta just tries to push this out. I can't imagine that Lonelyboyz would want to take a fight over at bottom, especially without the Sparta Crush initiation. But they do keep pushing. They have to be very careful with this. Do not want to push too hard. So they keep pushing in. God's Hand moving up. They've actually taken the tower down. T-Show deciding that they don't want to stop this push. And, well, Bounty Hunter is here. He's underneath the Observer Ward, but Observer Wards do not see invisible heroes. And the relocate comes through. They're going to get the crush on the 365. The silence is going to be there, and he does not have the Manta Style just yet. Lonelyboyz picking off the Anti-Mage. A huge kill for them, and he's down for 60 seconds. The relocate is going to bring them back. And maybe they kill the IO. There's not a whole lot of help, but Endplaner is here. Do they get a blink in? It's going to be blink RP. They might have taken down Adrian. Do they have enough survivability? Here comes the Medusa with the Stone Gaze, trying to take down Tail. And T-Show might have made another fatal mistake because this lane is already very far in. They're trying to take down Cafertado. They're going to need a buyback. They use one on the Magnus, but he doesn't have RP anymore. It's just damage from him. They're going to kill the Oracle. Moving up here. God's Hand. He's going to take some good damage, but remember, he still has the Aegis. Might even want to take the death here. Trying to heal up a little bit with the bottle. He just goes for this tower. And, well, Medusa gets the Aegis popped. Endplaner doing some nice damage on the high ground. Anti-Mage back in 16 seconds, but there's going to be a blink forward. A crush by Slider. They're going to kill Old Baga. Here comes a nice lasso from Sora, pulling Endplaner back into the fight. This is the real damage for Lonelyboyz, getting knocked back into it. And Anti-Mage, he's still down for 5. The Skewer is going to miss, and Lonelyboyz, they might be backing up right now. Shuri Toss just hits Heron Mark, and it's time for Lonelyboyz to evacuate the premises because they do not want Anti-Mage to get into this fight at all. Heron Mark, he's on 3 napalm stacks right now. It could be a Skewer back, but oh, they're gonna go for 365. They absolutely need the damage here. 4 staff away. He was silenced for a little bit, but he does manage to get the blink out. Now Sora taking so much damage, and the nice little stun, a bash from Slardar keeps him in place. Enough time to get the kill, and this creep wave keeps going in. This could be the first tier 3, the first racks of the game. They spent so many buybacks on this, and their skills. Magnus still doesn't have RP for another 30 seconds. They absolutely have to rely on the harassing damage, the chip damage on the creeps to get them away. And these creep waves are relentless. Anti-Mage? No, that's not an Anti-Mage. That's just Old Baka looking for some creeps. But they've lost 1 Rex. It could be 2. Ranged Rex about to go down. The first Rex of the game, 21.5 minutes. Lonelyboyz are going to take it. And Anti-Mage, he really cannot creep wave so close. Creep cut so close to the Lonelyboyz squad. They're looking for him. He blinks forward, but it's right into the creep wave. It's going to take quite a bit, and Slardar comes in. He's gotten the blink. There's going to be an amplified damage. 4 staff forward, and there's a silence on 365. On the other side of this, we've got a Medusa using the ultimate, just zoning out the T-Show squad. Another death for the Anti-Mage, and this is just so ridiculous for Lonelyboyz. Unfortunately, the tier 2 tower is still up for T-Show, so it's going to stop at 1 Rax right now. But they're just being very smart with their movements, and T-Show, they're blowing up internally. As 365, he had a very safe game in the last one, but just getting picked off time and time again. I swear that's the only time I'm going to say that. I hear so many casters say that all the time. That's the first time I said it today and for a while, so just don't hate me there. Lonelyboyz keep moving on through the mid lane, 22.5 minutes in, and the net worth lead. Look at that line, a straight line down, 6,000 gold in their favor, and at the XP, it's even right now. Looking for the tier 2 tower, and T-Show, their lives might be on the line here in the upper bracket. Jaw Ranger moves forward, gets a silence onto the Bat Rider, but he's able to blink away because the damage was not forthcoming from the Jaw Ranger. Tier 2 tower is going to be down, but Anti-Mage has respawned. This is the last thing they want to do right now for Lonelyboyz is give any kills over to the Anti-Mage. So they rotate over the top. It's a little bit low. Medusa kind of gets caught out, and Old Baga, we'll see if he's able to find any tracks or kills on the backside of this. God's Hand just moving around. Lincoln Sphere gets popped. And maybe he gets another track. In fact, he will. Oh, just missing a kill there. Anti-Mage gets... What? Anti-Mage gets picked off again. This is the 3rd time that he's died in a place where he has absolutely no business dying. 365, he had a great game number 1, just creating so much space, being the top of the net worth, but this time, end planer, he's taking the top spot for himself as 3 deaths for the Anti-Mage, not able to find any space at all on this map. T-Show knocking on the door for a 2nd time. Feeling the power as they try to get into the upper bracket final, playing for that spot in Division 1. Lonelyboyz looking so good here. Lincoln Sphere popped on God's Hand. Sora can go in for the lasso. In fact, he will. Now gets silenced, caught out there for a little bit. God's Hand, he uses his Stone Gaze. They want to get the racks. They're just going to go for it. Can they take it down in time? Tail still has a Blink RP. He's going to need to find a good one, but the melee racks is down. And Lonelyboyz, with the Stone Gaze having been used, absolutely have to back up, using Heron Mark as the bait, but the skewer is going to miss, and all of Lonelyboyz, they escape the scene of the crime. Again, another Rax off of an anti-mage pickoff.
I'll take that.
One that I definitely did not expect. So now, all the tier 2 towers are down. Maybe Lonelyboyz get another pickoff, but T-Show have shown that they are resilient, and they are not going to give this one up so easily. A nice little roller coaster of an XP ride there, and it's still not bottomed out. It's still going down for T-Show, and well, T-Show, they might want to, get their vomit bags ready, because this roller coaster, it's looking pretty scary at this point. But never count them out. This is T-Show we're talking about. They were down 45-15 at the end of game number 1, and it was still a close game just because of how the Tinker played. Shadowblade here for Slarter. There are a ton of heroes here, and he's just going to scout them out. Maybe he catches out Old Baga, who is visible. Oh, he just blinks away, though. And there is a Gem of True Sight on Bounty Hunter now. Does someone get caught out again? Anti-Mage looking for farm. He's going to realize that the Ancients are gone and also sees End Planer and has to absolutely get out. Maelstrom, Aghanim Scepter for Mr. Drow Ranger. Looking for Roshan, but it's going to be about a 2-minute respawn for him. Oh, Io. Whoops. Get caught on the high ground. It doesn't matter, though, because Sora, he's been stunned up. End Planer looking for some slows with the Frost Arrows. Misses uphill. How far do they want to go for this? Oh, there's a Blink Crush. Nice Force Staff away. Sora's going to be alive for a little bit longer, but he's still taking damage. Ticking down from those creeps. Oh, over on the other side, Oracle's been caught out, providing a little bit of a distraction here for Lonelyboyz. And Lonelyboyz, they are going to go back over towards the mid lane. That's the last tier 3 that they need to take down. Still looking for Roshan, but he's not going to respawn for another minute. I'm missing more kills than I'm really used to here as we're spectating this match. And just keep looking at this XP graph. Still not bottomed out. Net worth, yeah, they hit a little bit of a bump at the bottom, but when you hit a bump out of the bottom like that, you bounce straight up. But T-Show have yet to do that here. Enough. Ready with the Shadow Blade. There's also going to be the IO coming in. Do they have enough duration? Yes, they do. He's got in silence, and this is an anti-mage that has died so many times. He was very close to his Manta style before, but he's so far now. He absolutely needs it to be able to get away from these ganks, but Lonelyboyz, they just keep utilizing that combo, and maybe Io and Drow get caught out here would be a huge kill for them. And they don't have the relocate either. End Planer is taking a lot of damage. He's going to get some survivability. RP is only going to hit on the Adrian, but End Planer has stayed alive. He's got the Maelstrom. He's got the Aghanim Scepter. Old Baga taking so much damage. Enough has joined the fight. Tail, he has to back away. Gets hit by a little bit of a ball. There's also going to be the Urn of Shadows, and he wasn't able to blink away because of the Urn of Shadows. Canceling it. Lonelyboyz take some more kills there. Getting picked off all over the map, RT show, and the bottom lane will push in. Caffertato trying to do everything he can to try to push this out, but Lonelyboyz are on their way, and is he going to get caught out? End Planer moving forward. Doesn't have the best move speed. He's only at 400 right now, and they call it. Lonelyboyz are into your upper bracket final in the JDL season number 10. What a couple of matches from them. Super enjoyable to watch. So close was game number 1. Game number 2 a little bit further apart, but the game was a bit difficult early for Lonelyboyz, and they managed to come out in the end with the victory. So that's going to do it for the series tonight, as well as our coverage of the JDL season number 10. Thank you all so much for watching. Lonelyboyz take the series 2-0 over T-Show, and we'll see if we can bring you some more JDL action as the playoffs continue. Lonelyboyz, they will face Echo Foxes in the upper bracket final, And, well, the story is a little bit different for T-Show as they get knocked into the lowers, I believe, to face... Can't quite remember. But they're going to face a pretty good team. So thank you to both teams for playing, and thank you to all of you for watching. Definitely a very enjoyable series, and I'll be sure to post those VODs pretty soon. But for now, that's going to do it for me. I'm Pythian. You can follow me on Twitter at PythianLegume, as well as on twitch.tv/PythianLegume. As always, cheers, and I'm going to get some rest.